Welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
Did you forget for a second?
I forgot what I was supposed to be doing.
We're back. We're back. Sorry about last week. It was kind of a mess. I didn't want to get them sick, so we postponed
And
recording.
I completely forgot I was supposed to put it.
I was up at the cabin, and I'm like, you didn't, on Sunday, and I'm like, you didn't put up a video? And she's like, no. So that's why I did it from the cabin, but it was nice. It was a nice setting. Thanks for bearing with us and for coming back this week. It's, what is it? Almost end of July. I can't believe it.
Yeah, no,
I am now older. Thank you very much. But had a good birthday. Birthday celebrations continue. Since we were up in the mountains, we're having a little birthday get together tonight at Rachel's house, so that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna go first. I have very little to talk about. I took Hannah's sweater to the mountains, and I don't know, I got a few rows in. It just takes forever. Every single row takes forever.
You're too busy taking cool pictures.
Well, yeah.
She took some really nice
Yeah, I'll
photos.
talk about those. But so I was able to knit a lot, and got a few rows in, making some progress on this. This is her. It's called Genevieve's Graduation Cardigan, in a book called Fearless Fair Isle. And this is Hannah. This is for Hannah. It's going to be a cardigan sweater. It's going to, let's see, here's the beginning of the round. It's going to, I'm going to cut it when I'm done, right up this, you can kind of see this, this section where the pattern stops. That's the steek area. So I'll be cutting up that and folding it back and putting a button band on there. I told Hannah, it's going to take me forever. You're going to be like 40 when I'm done with this. So. But anyway, I'm working on it slow but steady. I decided to take it with me for the trip and commit to it for those days. So that's what I did there. And thank you to Vicki for this book. I've decided to go ahead and use this yarn to make my aunt a pair of mittens. I go see her beginning of August. I don't think I'll have them done, but I might. And so I'm going to start these actually right here on camera. I still haven't picked a pattern from here, which one I'm going to do, but I'll do that shortly. I'm going to start with the cuff and keep going from there. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing today. This kit actually was given to me by my aunt. It had a little book. She got it at some woman's luncheon or something she won. And it was a knit kit. So she gave it to me probably about a year ago. And I said, thank you. It's really nice wool. It's from Knit Picks. It's called We Crochet. Well, it's knitpicks.com and crochet.com where the yarn comes from. This is their Swish, which is worsted weight yarn. It's very, very nice. And it's this beautiful colorway. The book itself had like a scarf you could make because it was a learn to knit. So it came with these 4 colors, and I thought they're so beautiful. And I thought, I asked my aunt, what do you want? Do you want a hat? Do you want a scarf? And she goes, nah. And then she goes, what about mittens? And I was like, okay. And I've been looking literally off and on for a year for a good worsted weight mitten pattern. And then Vicki came to the rescue. And it's nice because this is color work, which I think I can use all 4 colors. And the colors are, this is Wonderland Heather. It's so beautiful. This reminds me of you, Eve. Mm-hmm. And then this is...
I had some mohair that color in Belgium, and I think I left it there.
This is called Conch. It's pretty pretty. This is called Honey. And of course, this is white. So I thought these would make beautiful mittens, and so I'm going to start on it. The kit also came with a very nice, I didn't even realize, a very nice darning needle. And a set of straight knitting needles. And I do like straight knitting needles on occasion. So these are size 7, which is really nice. They're good for things like, squares and small things you want to knit. I kind of dig old school straight needles. So anyway, and they're really nice wooden needles. They're really pretty from Knitwits. Knit picks. This is the just 10-inch straight knitting needles. Doesn't say what they're made from, but they're a very nice wood color. Anyway, so I'm going to use this kit. I'm going to start right now, and that's all I have to talk about knitting wise, because I just was sick, and then I was knitting on Hannah's sweater all week. So that's me.
I'm going to go next because I also have very little to talk about.
Okay.
So right now I am working on my second WIP-GO call for July, which is I couldn't remember the name. Until a Good Night by Stitching with the Housewives. And right now I'm about halfway done. I am using mostly Weeks Dye Works that I matched to the Classic Colorworks that were called for. I am also putting Krynic in the snow. Well, not necessarily Krynic. Some of it's Krynic and some of it's Accentuate, which is another sparkly thread. And so I'm plugging away at it. I'm on an A right now, which will then send me to the next. The pattern is in 2 pages. So once I finish this A, I think I go to the next page, which, is fun. I'm not saying that I'm going to get a lot of work done on this. I'll explain why I haven't been working very much. My first WIP-GO call for June was
June or July?
July. You knew I meant July. Cute boots. X's and O's designed by Joe Gattenby. Very cute little duck playing in the rain. I finished the duck. And I would have gotten more work done on the boots, except I couldn't find the 2 other reds. I have this red, and there's 2 other reds in the boots, and there's the
Oh,
boots.
you're starting the boots.
I was starting the boots.
He's so cute.
He's adorable. I finished the legs, and I'm starting his. I haven't even done the back stitching, which is really going to pop a lot of that out. I'm sure I have the other 2 reds, but I packed up a lot of my cross-stitch stuff. I still have it at the house, but it's like put in a specific spot unless I really, really need it. And I'm like, that's not important enough to start going through that. I have enough problems without doing that. And then we come to my cross stitch camp piece, which I was telling them, I think I'm going to start over, which means I won't finish it, which means I probably won't continue on it this month at all. But I was doing Erica Michaels' Life is Better Meow, for the meow the merrier. And I was working on the pin pillow. But I wanted to make it look more like the cat that we just lost, Storm, who was gray and white tabby. And he had a white front and white front legs, and his back legs were mostly white. Well, okay, halfway white. And then his face was white up until his eyes, and he had a white thing going up like that. And I thought, I can do that. And I was using DMC's variegated black thread, which is, when you look at it in the skein, it looks like it goes from black to gray to white.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't. So the tail is mostly just gray. Okay, so when I was going up toward the head, it was very, very dark, and I tried doing every other row and going in with the tail end, which was lighter to go in between, and you can kind of up close see the difference. And then I was going to put white in the middle, and I don't know, it looks like a cartoon. So I'm not really happy. If I decide to work more on this month, I may just pull out the white and just do it all in the gray variegated thread. It doesn't have the variegation I was hoping. And I wonder if there's a colorless black that might have more, that might be more to what I was thinking. Because
More contrasty.
yeah,
Because you want them to
Shorter
be,
variation.
yeah, you want them to be stripy.
yeah, this isn't striped enough for a tabby
A
cat.
tabby kitty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
like
what's really
different
strange about
threads.
that is the cats that I was working on for you, the two, they're stripy.
Mm-hmm.
They look great.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it's because this one was so small.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
it
that was
just-
much bigger.
Yeah, like I said, that with the DMC variegation, it depends on how long, because they can have very long strips of one color before it changes to the next.
Well, and that wouldn't bother me if the full-on black wasn't so long. You know,
Yeah, that's what I mean. That
if the lighter color, if it was longer, wouldn't bother me as much.
Yeah.
Then I would have just done it all, and I wouldn't have worried about white. But that black is very black. Okay, so,
I have to slip off camera because I need to get a tape measure. So I'm going to go that way while you keep talking.
okay. So I did a little bit more work on the 2023 Temperature SAL by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts. I had to do the work I did twice because I can't count. So I finished off this flower right here. And then I did the branches going down like that have, they start off with greeny, yellowy flowers down here and move to blue flowers. And after I got all the way down to here, from up here, I realized that it wasn't coming down far enough, and I was like, where is that mistake? Where is that mistake? That mistake was up here. So I had to redo it. And because I thought about just fudging it, and then I thought, no, I don't know how the rest of that's going to fit in there. That's not going to work. And I can't work for a very long time right now. And that is because my stitching spot is somewhere in a storage room. And there's a couch for me to sit on, or I could sit on my bed, neither of which are comfortable for me. My hips don't like it. So when I had to restart, I'm like, okay, I'm putting this down for a while. Because then I have to go walk around so that I can get the cramps out of my legs. Stitching Mommy's Temperature Turtles. We remember our June turtle.
So hot.
Solid red. Our July turtle is turning out much the same. I'll do it this way so you can see the fin. There's another fin up here. This past week did not get above 115. It wanted to. It tried.
It was so hot.
In some parts of the city, it was like 117 or so. But here in Ahwatukee, or more correctly at Sky Harbor, it was it only got as high as 113.
Only.
Okay, so I did say only. But when the rest of the city is having stuff a lot hotter, you take what you can. You take that as a win. So that's all I did. Not very much.
For you?
That's it.
Before you go, Eve, would you say your hands are more Mary Lou's size?
I have no idea.
Because mine are big.
Probably.
So will
but
you measure the widest part of your hand? Because I'm like, I don't want to make her with inches, not centimeters. Yeah. I don't want to make her giant mittens.
Oh, and I keep injuring myself, which I will talk about in. That's another reason I didn't get a lot done.
Pull it around the other side. Aye, give me your hand. Someone doesn't know how to measure things. That's okay. So yours are closer to 7. It's like a 7 1/4. That sounds about right. Okay. Yeah, look, there's a 7 1/4 size. I'll do that one. Okay, thank you. But her hands are little, huh?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's pretty. Because she's relatively short.
It doesn't matter. Any that you make, she'll be happy that you
Yes.
made them, and then
1, 2, 3.
and then she will not be.
Okay, so my first of all, I think I'm going to do my cross stitch camp piece because I finished it. So for July, the challenge was to take a multicolored pattern and change at least 2 colors, to suit your taste or whatever. So I did this Carrots Away by Whitley Quimby of Sugar Maple Designs. And this was in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. That's why it's just a copy of the page for the picture. But it's a rabbit in a carrot airplane dropping carrots. So I changed basically all of the colors. It was charted in Southern Fried Floss, which I don't have, and like a couple of DMC colors and a couple of Color and Cotton colors. I did use the Color and Cotton Sticks and Twigs was one of them, and I think maybe the other Color and Cotton, I don't know. But for all the other colors, I used a combination of Gentle Arts and Color and Cotton and Weeks Dye Works. So they're all different colors than what was charted, except for the Sticks and Twigs, which is only used like, I don't know, or in the middle of the tie or whatever. But so, yeah, I just did it all, and I finished it the other day. I think.
I finished it a few days ago.
Yeah, Sunday or Monday or something like that. I think while I was here already, so yeah. So anyway, that's done. Yay. And I like the way it came out. The only thing is that the little pinky color for the inside of his ears is a little bit, it fades into the brown a little bit. If you look real closely at it in the right light, you can see the pinky color, but could have been maybe a lighter pink or something to show up more. But the carrot color I like, and the clouds and everything else. So it's all done. And then I worked on the 15th, because it was Naomi's birthday. I wanted to do something celebratory, so I worked on Rabbit Rabbit July. And I had gotten I think I had 2 rabbits done and part of the outside, ring of color. And so now all the rabbits are done. And let's see, this is the top. So all the rabbits are done, and I have just the outside ring and some inside flower things to do. And this is on 32 count Murano Carré. I have to remember to do that. There's a very middle, one little stitch in the very middle of this, and it's this green color. And I kept reminding myself, don't forget to do that. But I don't know when I'm going to get back to it, but that's July. Maybe by the end of this month I can work on it some more. So that's Ink Circles by Tracy Horner. It's one. She has the monthly charts that way. And then then I went back to. I had been working on this before my update last week. I had worked on part of it, and then I set it aside to do the other stuff, and then went back to it. So this is April Dolce Dormir by Madame Chantilly, and when I started it last year, I think, I had just done some of these green leaf things, and I went to. So I've been working on I finished the branch, I guess. Whatever that they're on, and then I'm missing a bunch of colors. I'm missing maybe three or four colors from this pattern that are I don't know where they are. They're amongst my things, and so I thought, well, I can work on what I have. So I did almost all of the green on these leaves. I finished these leaves up here. And the ones on the bottom, the grass on the bottom. I did find there was a mistake. One of these, because I'd done these leaves without the little branch thing, and so I was off by one square. But I was able to, it was nothing crucial. I was able to fudge it. Just added another square of this brown, black, whatever this color is for the branch, and then I had white, and all these green leaf things have white flowers on most of them, and I didn't feel like doing them, but I did this wheelbarrow because I did the green patch, and so there's this little mound, and so I was able to do the wheelbarrow, and it's white. And then the carrot, there's the big giant carrot that the little baby bunny is asleep on. And I was hoping I could finish the carrot because yesterday was the 7th day, which was my goal for this. And I was hoping to finish this big carrot, at least the carrot part, not the fronds, but the carrot. And I didn't quite finish it before I fell asleep last night. So. And I have a thread hanging off the back of it because it's in the middle of the stitch. And then my new WIP-GO, my second WIP-GO pull is Little Brown Bat, which is one of these Year in the Woods series by Cottage Garden Samplings. So this is what I've done. I did, I guess, last year when I started it. So this is where I'm going to be starting to work on the Little Brown Bat. There's just, you can see his little bones of his hand. But I had a thread that was left hanging from when I did the reindeer last month, I guess. So I wanted to finish that, and I might have just enough to at least finish this row that I'm on before I switch the hoop over to do it. So this is the Little Brown Bat that I'm going to be working on next. Ouch, sorry. So that's coming up, and I think that's me. Ouch.
So I just want to briefly say why from 2 Saturdays ago I didn't stitch very much. That evening I slipped and fell in my living room in dog vomit.
Ew.
Smacked my knees into it wasn't a fall from a height. I was trying to get off the couch to put the dog outside because she was sounding like she was going to vomit. And I cut my hand, and we will not be showing a picture here because it's gross. It wasn't a horrible, horrible cut. It was just broke the skin, bleeding, and I could not tell what I cut my hand on, and I could not remember the last time I had a tetanus shot. So I went to the urgent care to get the tetanus shot, and they looked at my hand. They took an x-ray. They decided that I had sprained my wrist. I had bruises from something on my wrist too. And while I was sitting there in urgent care, everything started hurting, just like, because I had refused any pain medicine because I'm like, no, I'm all right. And then as I sat there, I'm like, I am not all right.
Yeah, once the adrenaline wears off,
I think I just jarred an old injury of mine, and so it made my back hurt in such a way that I couldn't even stand up for more than a few minutes, which is not conducive to trying to pack and go through things. And I couldn't get it wet, which meant I couldn't go outside and swim, which made me sad. And so there was that. Then there was a whole day of our house being invaded by my son's friends who were moving furniture out. And it was so hot. It was so hot in the house that day because all the doors were open. That day I was like, I don't care. I'm going to find a way to take a bath. I don't care. Because I was so sweaty. But I had to keep taking muscle relaxers. So then the whole next day I couldn't wake up. Mm-hmm. And so I would look at my stitching and go, I think that stitch is wrong. Because it would be an entirely, 32 count fabric for the cat instead of, I would do the first end right and then the next one it would go in the middle hole instead of where it belonged and all that. And I was like, okay, so we're not stitching right now. So only recently did I feel like I could get any stitching done for any length of time. So then I'm sitting on the couch because it was the only place to sit, and it's not my favorite couch. And I'm sitting on the couch and I have my bags on the couch. I used to have them beside me. I can't charge my phone. I can't charge my tablet because the chargers are in a weird place. I'm sitting on the couch trying to finagle things around, and apparently I had stuck one of those wooden skewers that I was using to like poke out corners and stuff, stuff with, and it came through the bag and jabbed me in the arm. And then we were moving stuff around on the outside, and I wanted to fold down the leaves of that table out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a splinter in my finger. And I was like, stop hurting yourself. I couldn't get the splinter out, but when I went swimming, apparently it just floated away.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't hurt as much now. But I'm just like, I'm never going to get any stitching done. Besides the fact that I feel guilty because I should be,
Yeah. So it's like, well, I really wanted to do Midsummer Stitch that I guess started last night and goes on through midnight tonight. And I thought, when I first heard about it, and I've been talking about it on my channel, encouraging other people to sign up for it because it's a virtual stitching event. It costs like $8. You don't have to pay for a hotel or anything like that, and so it's very inexpensive. And you stitch from the comfort of your own home, so you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything, and you can visit with other people stitching, and you have tables, stitching rooms, whatever. And also she has some guests. There's no shopping at this one like there is for the Jingle Ball, but but you know, there's some finishing classes or whatever classes. So I really, really, really wanted to do it, but you know, I knew that this weekend would be topsy-turvy. I still have a lot of work to do in my room, for instance, and I finally did some of that yesterday, and I really couldn't justify like just sitting around and stitching
right.
for however many hours. Plus, we're doing the thing for Naomi tonight and a lot, and so I thought, you know, I don't want to spend money to go to this and then like not be able to really participate.
Right.
And so so I reluctantly, I'm very sad because I know that people are having fun stitching right now at Midsummer Stitch.
You're having fun stitching here.
That's true, but you know, not as much fun as that would happen. But anyway, so yeah, so I thought, well, okay, I you know, I'll have to skip it this time.
I've kind of done the opposite because Hannah's been home for a couple weeks, and I've kind of mentally just taken that time off because I'm like, she's not going to be here very much longer. She's actually leaving just a couple days, and so like I'm not worrying about anything else but just spending time. We've played a lot of games, and we had a lot of fun at the cabin even though I was sick. We went up there, and it was warmer than we wanted. Like the highs were at 90 or just below, which was kind of a bummer, but it still was 20 degrees colder than here. And the mornings were really beautiful, and the evenings. And what was really cool was right by the we went walking around and we saw this little trail, and it turned out that it was an elk trail. And every morning and evening, you could catch. I saw it once. The kids and Mark saw it once. Elk running through, and you could hear the babies. Because the first night we were there, we heard this rah, 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 and it would echo. And I'm like, what is that? It doesn't sound like a bird, and it doesn't sound like a coyote. And I didn't know baby elk made that sound, right? But the next night, we went for a walk along one of the elk trails, because you can tell there's like elk poop all over, right? And you see little hoof prints. I took here's a picture of a hoof print. It was really cool. And we met a family that lives nearby, has a cabin nearby. And a little boy, he was so cute, he caught a lizard. His grandpa caught it, but he had a lizard in a box. He's like, I have a terrarium. So they were going to put him in there. And he was real cute. But so they were telling us that sound is baby elk, and that they just jabber all you know, in the mornings and evenings to each other. You could hear it echoing all the time. So so that was fun, and we got a couple of pictures of them, of the elk. I didn't see any males, just some young males, but not any adult males. But we saw does and youngins. And on my birthday, in the morning on Monday, I went out. Everyone was asleep. I was just up super early, and I went out on the deck, and I heard them start jabbering. And so I walked out to the railing without my camera, of course, and here go two boing boing boing. So it was like there was like our cabin, like a little drive, and then some you know, scrub, and then just a little ways off was where the trail was. So they weren't super close, but you could see them out in the field if you were watching, and it was really neat. It was really nice, and so that was a treat. But we took up a whole ton of games. We took up Hand and Foot. We took up Lord of the Rings. So Hannah's been reading. She's like, my left frontal lobe finally matured, and I have been reading. So she told me before she came, she'd been reading Lord of the Rings, and when she arrived, she was in Two Towers. She had finished Fellowship, and she was reading Two Towers, and finished Two Towers, I think before we left for the cabin. So we watched Fellowship of the Ring, the extended version, of course, and then the next night we watched Two Towers, And then she started reading Return of the King. She's like, we can't watch it until I finish reading. That girl finished that book before we came home. So in that like span of 5 days or whatever. And
Well, there wasn't a lot of distractions.
right, and she just really enjoyed it. She still practiced too up there, which was nice. And
I wonder if
but-
the animals liked that.
so while we finished, I mean when she finished, or maybe she wasn't quite done yet, but we played the Lord of the Rings board game. Mark has this game, and you have this main track that you're on, and you have 4 hobbits or 5 hobbits you can have, and then it has
Is
Sauron.
that the game we played?
Mhm.
It's
horrible.
Stresses me
It
out
is
so much
so
when you have
stressful.
that little bag and you have to
Yes.
reach in there like
Yeah, so we have
the bag of
we have
death.
Sauron, who is depending on what happens in the game, he's moving closer to you, and then depends on what happens
Don't
in
forget, fear is the mind killer.
the game. You're moving closer to him, and if you wind up in the same square as him, you die. But you play collaboratively, and the point is to keep the ring bearer away from Sauron. And I don't think we have ever won that game. Maybe one time in the history of our family, but this time we came very close. We did a really good job. Of course, Hannah insisted on being Frodo and insisted on being the ring bearer the whole time. But you have to. There's different ways to determine who is the ring bearer, and then depending on that, you try to use your cards and stuff to protect him, and you also have to get through. So you have like Helm's Deep and
Mark
all
finds the
different
coolest
seas. It's a
games.
really cool game. It's like 4 different scenarios, like Shelob's Lair. I think it's Helm's Deep.
The ring bearer isn't in Helm's Deep.
No, but you still have to go through it. I know
Can you tell
Shelob's
that
Lair
the
is
Lord of
one.
the Rings is an important
Moria.
thing to us?
The first one is Moria. Then it's Helm's Deep, then Shelob's Lair, and then Mordor. And you get different cards. And anyway, it's a really well-made game. And Mark long ago bought little Hobbit figurines, and he painted them, and he put like rocks and moss on the bottom. Yeah, he's a nerd. He's a nerd, and we love him. And so we played that game. Like that was like an all-day game. It was really nice. And then we played cards every night, and no, it was just a really, really good, restful time for all of us, and good time to enjoy Hannah and have her here. So, so that's been a lot of fun. That was fun, even though I was sick. And then Eli thought he was getting sick while we was up there, but he seems okay. And
while she was
yeah.
up there having fun, I was here with her cats that act as if I have never been in this house before. They act like, who are you and what are you doing here?
every time.
Yeah,
Every
like they've
single
never
time.
seen me before in their lives.
You know, I was thinking about that because I was thinking like Hannah's here once a year, but they're like happy to see her and like totally accept. But I realized she was here when they were babies. Like when we got them, it was pandemic, and so she was here. So they were bonded when they were babies. So that must be why.
Well, also she smells like other cats and a
I
dog.
don't know, but I mean, it's just like
Well, you know, it's funny because like Creamsicle outside comes up
She
to
loves
me
you.
and she's very sweet. And
these kitties are like, I don't know you.
And while I was here, I sent Naomi a workman's compensation
Claim.
because when I had gone out to feed Creamsicle, I'd gone out barefoot, you know, I was on the porch, and as I was coming in, I guess I was closer to the door jamb thing than I realized, and as I came in, I caught my foot on the little metal threshold thing, and I had like bruises and, you know, skinned my toe and all this stuff. I was like, ow!
I said, your benefits have run out. Sorry.
It hurt so much. I felt like I felt like I would surely see like blood or something on there. But you know, I was like, I couldn't even see where it was injured. It just hurt like crazy, and it wasn't
You
like
big
till later on that the bruises popped out. You know, but yeah. So I said, workman's compensation.
I said, no, sorry, your benefits have run out. This horrible establishment. I said, leave a bad Yelp review.
Yeah. Yeah, because when at one point, Naomi had texted me that she had heard from Cox Cable that the cable was out,
Yeah.
or whatever. And so by the time she had texted me, or by the time I read it or whatever, the cable was only out for a little while, and then it was back on, so it was fine. But then on Wednesday, it was out, and it was part of that outage, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know, but
I'm like, are you gonna prorate my bill?
Yeah, because I got up and
it's a good thing I wasn't home having to work.
I went to do my Bible reading, and it wouldn't load, and I thought, okay, and so then I went to a couple of websites, and they wouldn't load because there was no cable, and then so I couldn't watch
no Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi, and so I couldn't watch the anything streaming on the television, and so I was just like, well, I guess I'll just sit here in the quiet instead. My brain forgot how to function.
You could use data on your phone and do it.
Well, I
but not on the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know, and it's like, how do I? And the one bad thing you're gonna call. I don't know if it's bad or not, but that cabin had Wi-Fi. So in the evenings we were all sitting there on our phones like a bunch of idiots. But we did take long walks, and and we did played a lot of games, and so we did have some analog time, as I call it. It was really kind of a little bit. I was like, maybe we should have gotten a cabin with no, because there are some that are very remote, and there was no cell signal there.
Yeah.
And so there was only Wi-Fi, but a little bit I was like, we're all on our phones. But it was still restful, at least, to get away from work and to get away from the heat.
Well, I remember when
we were from you. No, I'm just kidding.
When we were kids, and we would go camping. We would do stuff like would do stuff like
Oh well, and that's what
play
usually,
matches.
Right. That's what usually when we've gone tent camping. And we almost did that, but I just my health and stuff has been just. Yeah. I just didn't want to.
It's a good thing you didn't plan tent camping because you were sick.
Because I was sick,
and it would have.
I know, that's what I was
totally ruined your plans.
Well, that because I wouldn't have been able to. I mean, as it was difficult for me to get ready to go, but on this trip. But it wasn't. I just was packing clothes. It wasn't like, but yeah. So it was good. Yeah, I told Mark it's a good thing we didn't plan tent camping because it would have been very hard being sick. We just would have canceled. But no, but it was a good time. It was a really, really, really good time. And this centerpiece here, not the giraffes; those are old. Mark's had those for a long time. But this is ironwood, and actually, if you pick it up, it's very, very heavy. There's this really cool place in Heber, near where we were, and it's called Wildwood, and it's I've always seen it when we drive through. It's got huge sculptures, you put in your yard of bears and things and aliens. Here's a picture of the aliens I sent to Eve, and they have all this stuff, and they also make signs and benches and tables. And I've never been there, and so on my birthday we were like, let's go shopping, and we went there, and it was a Monday, and they were closed. So I went back on Tuesday, and they do all those giant sculptures, like the big yard ones, with chainsaws. And I'm sure they have other kinds of things, because I guess they do all this. They make signs like Smith's Cabin or whatever. Like you can make with shiny and really neat. And then they had a bunch of these sculptures. They had quail and eagles and bears with fish in their mouth. And I asked the lady who made those, and she said there were two families in Mexico that carved them out of ironwood. I guess you have to have special tools because it's such a hard wood. And these two families make these and send them up to this owner of the shop. And I was like, sold, because I like things that are handmade by just people doing their thing. And so I fell in love with these quail. And Eli got an eagle, about the same size, but it's a little taller. Is really beautiful. And I should have put that on the table too. But So that's my birthday souvenir from Heber, and I love it. It's so pretty. It's got that beautiful grained wood in the wings. Isn't that pretty? And so that was a lot of fun. We tried to go up to Sholo and down to Payson also because that shop was closed on Monday. Both of them are about 40-ish miles away, like maybe an hour away. But because it was a weekday, they had construction and the highways were down to one lane. So one side waits while the other side comes through, and then this side goes, and we're like, forget it. Forget it. But it was nice. So Hannah, little Miss Thing, planned all the menus for us. Well, she and I planned it together, but she made a roast chicken for my birthday. And then the next day, she put all the bones and made broth, and we had chicken soup for the next day. In the evening, we had a little bit of chicken salad. We didn't have as much chicken salad because she wanted to save some of the chicken for the soup, but it was really good. She can make a mean roast chicken. She's so, I'm so proud of her. I'm like, if I had learned to make a roast chicken when I was 20, in my 20s, my whole life would have been different. I'm like, I've been afraid of that, but she just, and that's how she is. She's just very adventurous, just jumps in, figures out. Well, and also, I didn't have Google at my fingertips when I was 20.
Yeah. The
way she does. So it's easy. I think it's easier to learn things. You know what I mean? I don't know why I say that. That's not really true, but
yeah, it is, because if you don't have anybody in your sphere who knows how,
it's not. But so it was just. I'm just really proud of her. And what else have I learned this week? So we roast. I'm not like I've never made a roast chicken, but I don't really roast chickens in the oven. I do like crock pot kind of things. So I feel a little more adventurous in that way now. And then
I get mine at Sam's.
But I learned all about chia pudding this week.
I love the chia pudding that they have at First Watch. It's
I've never had it before, and Hannah was like, "Yeah, it's really easy to make." So actually, I bought some protein shakes at just at Fry's, and I made chia pudding with the protein shake. So the protein protein shake is really good for me, and then the chia is like so much fiber, right? And it's so good for you, and I just made that. We put some berries on top, and it's such a nice treat. And I also have chocolate protein shakes. So my next version of chia pudding will be chocolate. I'm very excited because it's just like a treat that I can eat. Oh, and I was very happy on my birthday because I was like, I want to like have something fun for my birthday, but I don't want my blood sugar to spike and all that, right? So it's like we had I bought those 70, I think they're Weight Watchers, like 70 calorie bars. They were like coffee cake, I found. And we had some Carb Smart ice cream, which is really good ice cream it's not too bad. And then, so I put that at the bottom, put the Carb Smart ice cream over top, and I had those skinny dipped peanut butter cups that are only like 2 net carbs. I chopped that up, threw it on the ice cream, threw some peanuts on there, salty peanuts, and some berries. And I was like, because I can do berries. They're like low glycemic. And I said, we're not going to have my birthday treat after dinner. We're going to have it, I'm going to do it for lunch. Because we had a late brunch for my birthday. We did pancakes, which did not work well. I don't know if it was the altitude or the way we mixed them up. Something happened. And we had eggs. So we had like a late brunch on my birthday. So then for like mid-afternoon, like let's have an ice cream party. So everybody else ate regular ice cream and I made my little concoction. And because it was afternoon and I had eaten good protein in the morning, I ate that, didn't blip, and then we had a fancy day. It was really nice. So I was like, I know how to do birthdays. It's good. It's good. I'm learning.
I was gonna say I have the little tiny quail that you gave me.
Yeah.
I have it in my.
Oh yeah, I gave
in my elephant purse. So years ago, actually before I had my surgery, so it was probably 8 years ago, when I first moved out here, Naomi and I went to Scottsdale to hear a symphony performance out there, and as we were leaving, I had this little elephant purse that I bought. So it has a little elephant scene on one side and some little sequins and stuff, and it had like little fake plastic bamboo short handles and then a long shoulder strap, right? And it's just a little tiny purse. It's about, this big, and but as we were walking out, one of the screws from the little bamboo handles, one of the screws fell out and disappeared. We looked around in the lobby and couldn't find it, and we didn't know where it had fallen out really. And so I was very bummed because then my little elephant purse, was kaput. And over years, off and on, I've kind of looked half-heartedly for the replacement handles or whatever, and I've seen some, but I wasn't sure if they were the right size, and so blah blah blah. So I didn't buy them. And then just recently, I just got a wild hair, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to look on Amazon and see if I can find something to replace it. And I measured how, the distance of the size of these little handles, and I thought I had ordered the right size. And on the Amazon thing, it said something about like this product very often returned or something. But that's not a good sign. But so when they came, I thought, okay, they look about the right size, and they were, except that the ones that I have are like, straight down like this, and these were slightly flared like that, and so I thought at first they're not going to work. They're just like too wide, and so I had looked again because I thought I saw some bamboo handles at one of the things at Hobby Lobby or Joann's or someplace. Mm-hmm. And so when I went to look again, they didn't have them. At Walmart, it listed it on their website, but it said it was out of stock. And, so I couldn't find them anywhere. And so I thought, well, okay, whatever. And so I just kind of set it aside in my mind. And then this past week when I was, cleaning stuff out of my room and all that, because, I thought, that surely I kept that plastic handle. Mm-hmm. And now that I had the screws, that maybe I could, make it all work. I just used one of the screws and put the old handles on there. And if I kept that plastic handle, and I can't imagine why I wouldn't have, I can't find it. Mm-hmm. So finally I just got a wild hair yesterday and fussled with those handles that I bought and made it work. So I just had to kind of there. You could, if you look closely at it, you can kind of see that the little U-shaped things that attach to the handles are slightly not in the right place exactly, but it don't hurt the running any. So it still works. So now I have my little elephant purse, and inside it I have that little elephant wallet that Rachel gave me. So, and that little quail, baby quail, is on there because it has a little keychain thing.
Yeah, I got it. They had little miniatures of these.
So I have
carvings.
that little version of the quail on my elephant wallet in my elephant purse. So I'm very happy.
Elephant themes. Elephant themes.
Mm-hmm.
So on Prime Day, I bought a new tripod. And the one they showed me, look, it comes with this and comes with that, and it comes with this other thing, and then you could get this with the remote. And I was like, I wanted to replace our remote. And I was like, well, this looks pretty good, but I try to read the comments.
Yep. Got to read the reviews.
And there was a guy that said that it worked fine. Okay. He said, but it was missing a piece. So he contacted the company, and right away they sent him another one. But they said, just throw the first one away. I can't remember exactly what it was, this part of this thing. Just throw the last one away and you'll have this new one that works fine. And he said, that's what I did. And the product works. He said, but they keep billing me for the one they told me to throw away.
Oh, no.
And he said, so be very careful dealing with this company. And I said, there are plenty of tripods. I'll just keep looking.
Yeah.
Because I try to make sure that I buy stuff that has at least 4 stars, if not 4.5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
And read the reviews and stuff. Because my tripod works, but there's one little piece that for some reason I cannot get it to go back in. Naomi even tried it. It doesn't make sense. It won't go back in. Mm-mm. And I am I'm done with that. Because you can't get it to be stable.
Yeah. It's not secure for your iPad.
Right. And, with the cost of an iPad, you need it to be stable.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, because I thought about buying just the top piece, because you can get just the top piece, because that's the part that's broken. And it would have cost me almost the same amount.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'll just get a new one. Mm-hmm. But when I looked up the new one, when I found one that I wanted for the price that I wanted to pay, it said frequently bought together. And it was the piece that holds the larger tablet on. And I'm like, I don't really need that, But it said comes with remote.
Mm. Have you gotten it yet, or is it still on its way?
It's supposed to be here tomorrow.
Oh,
So I was like, So I said, I'll just look for the remote by itself. The remotes by themselves cost more than getting the piece with the remote. I was like, forget it. I'll just get the thing with the remote,
Yep.
Yeah. So, but they kept sending me all, get this early Prime deal. Get this early Prime deal. I'm like, how do I know if I get that early Prime deal that it's better than the actual Prime deals?
I don't know. It's a mystery.
When I was cleaning, up stuff, I was packing up stuff, and in one box that I had like a bunch of slipper socks and things like that. In there, I found some hats that I haven't. I used to wear them once in a while, but in this thing with the hats, there was a car tie hat from when I had radiation treatment of my acoustic neuroma back when I was at Little Rock. So it's probably from like 2013. And there was an X-Files hat it's probably from the 90s or thereabouts, because that's when that show was popular. I would have bought it then. And then there were 2 bicycling hats. One Campagnolo hat. Campagnolo is an Italian brand. And a little hat from the Little 500. And I thought, those have got to be, the Campagnolo hat, I imagine I bought around the same time that I bought the Little 500 hat. The Little 500 is a bicycle race that they have in Indiana, at Indiana University. Like the Indy 500, this is a bike race called the Little 500 that's popular there at IU. And I would have bought it when I was at IU, which means that hat is probably, I was at IU from 83 to 85. So that hat is that old, I was like, that's 20 years ago or whatever, more than 20 years ago, 40 years ago.
Gosh,
yeah.
I know, the 80s feel like they're 20 years ago, but they're not.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this cabin. I forgot to tell you. I get there, and there is a roll of paper towels on the thing, and it's like this much paper towels left. And I'm like, so I'm looking around. No extra paper towels. Okay. So we look all through the kitchen. there is not a dish towel or dish cloth in the whole kitchen. And we go into the bathrooms, and there's one roll of toilet paper in one bathroom, one roll in the other, and that one extra roll upstairs in that bathroom. I'm like, so I messaged them, and I'm like, and also, okay, so before we went, the rules of the cabin said that you can't leave any trash in the cabin. Okay. You have to take, and you can't leave it in the cans outside. You have to take it to the dump, the trash center, because there's no trash service out there in those cabins. And I'm like, oh, and also we're going to charge you a $450 cleaning fee. And I'm like,
If I do all the work, why are you charging me?
Yeah, exactly. So I was kind of pissed about that. But then, so then we're like, okay, and Mark just happened to go, he looked at the trash cans as when we got there, and they were full to the tippy top, which means the people before us did not take their trash. And also, it also means that the people who cleaned the cabin before we got there didn't check the trash.
Yeah.
They didn't clean the cabin if they didn't replace the toilet paper and paper towels.
Well, the cabin was clean.
No, I mean, but that's
all the linens were clean, the cabin was clean.
That's
everything.
part of cleaning.
But I mean, they just overlooked it, and also thought that 5 paper towels was enough for a family to stay for 4 days. So I messaged
one towel for each day.
Yeah, I guess. and what happened also? Okay, this is what we did. We were like, we were really pressed for time because I was so sick. So we're like, let's just go grocery shopping in Payson, which is an hour away from Heber, because I know there weren't any big grocery stores up there. So Payson has a nice Safeway there, and so we went there, and we brought insulated bags for any cold items, and we brought ice packs for those things. So we had the ice packs in the insulated bags, drove up to Payson, which is an hour and a half, and then we shopped and stuffed all the cold stuff into the cold bags with the ice things, right? And my daughter, she was like, we don't need that much milk. Let's just get this, like a half gallon or whatever. And I was like, not a gallon. And so I was like, okay, we'll grab the plastic bottle with the lid. And she's like, no, we don't. Let's just get the carton, the skinny carton. I don't know, it was a quart, I guess. Like, okay, and I didn't think. And so we're out there it's like 90 something in Payson. So I'm like trying to rush, get everything in there. And we put the milk in like this in a carton. Didn't think. Fortunately, a lot of the stuff that was also in there was in its grocery bags, so most stuff didn't get gross, but the milk leaked all the way up, right? So we get there, and one of my cold bags is full of milk. And there's no paper towels. So I was like, I'm messaging them. I'm like, the trash cans are full. There's no paper towels. Is there any extra paper towels? Also, where the dish... And I innocently said, can you tell me where the dishcloths are? Even though I knew there were no dishcloths. And they wrote we'll send somebody out. They did send someone out to get the trash. And I said, and there's only one extra roll of toilet paper. He said, we'll bring you toilet paper. And sorry, we only provide paper towels for the kitchen. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And they have a dishwasher. But I'm like, you need, I'm not going to put a giant pot. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to wash a dish. And so, and I don't know, I like hand washing. So, I'm like, this is crazy. And they did come, and we went up a Saturday. On Sunday, they sent someone for the trash and to bring extra toilet paper, but they didn't bring extra paper towels. So anyway, we went down there was a dollar store there. We went to the dollar store. I bought dishcloths and dish towels, and I bought my own paper towels and rolls of toilet paper because we didn't know at the time they were going to come. And I'm like, this is kind of crazy. For as much as we're paying for this cabin, you don't have a dishcloth. They did have a scrubbing sponge at the kitchen sink, And it was a beautiful cabin, and everything was clean. I mean, you had bugs that just come in because there were bugs, but it wasn't anything bad. But I was like, really, guys?
Yeah,
that's weird. And
well, I can and I can understand it to a degree if you're really roughing it, if you're staying in some like a hunting cabin kind of thing.
But I have rented all manner of cabins, and they all had dishcloths and dish towels, all of them.
I was gonna say if there's kind of a
if you say
kitchen
fully
component,
stocked, if you say fully stocked kitchen, that's what I mean. That's what I think. And then on the very last day, we were literally so we were kind of like hoping there was this pan and hoping there was that dish, and mostly it was all fine. But the very last day, I was sitting there, everything was packed up, and I was sitting there waiting for, I don't know, something. And I said, Eli, open that cabinet above the fridge. What's up there? He opened it, and there was a big crock pot up there. We didn't know. We could have, I don't know, we could have used it for something. But, I don't know. It was just a little bit unstocked, I guess. Not like a lot of cabins I've stayed in, because we like to rent cabins.
Yeah.
But that was bizarre. And then they brought the toilet paper, but it was scented toilet paper. It was the worst. I hate that. Like, how you occasionally, you're like going to wipe your nose, right? You grab a little toilet and like, it's stinky. Don't like it. I did not like that. But, I mean, it was nice. It was a nice cabin. Here's some pictures of it. But it was fun. But yeah, I'm like, some of this is all messed up. Oh, and also, they had a grill and an outdoor griddle, which would have been really nice, right? But if you use them, you have to refill the propane tanks yourself.
From where?
I'm like, I don't know, we can do that. And they're like, there's you can get propane at the gas station at the Chevron where we always stop. And I'm like, you can't even, for $450 fee, you can't even give me propane?
Yeah.
Oh, that made me mad. And when I said that might be hard for us, do you have any, is there any, can you advise? And they didn't say anything. But as we were leaving, I'm standing outside, and I'd walked by that cabin 100 times, but under the porch, because, the porches are raised up. Under the porch, there was a charcoal grill right there. Like, why didn't you tell me I could use the charcoal grill that's under the porch?
Well, and if it says it's a fully stocked cabin, you don't bring
paper towels.
You don't bring a lot of your
towels?
own stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because you're expecting it to be there. But if it's just a cabin, then you bring all that stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, it was just kind of funny. We had some interesting issues there, but overall it was nice.
I was in that cabin that we stayed at with Mom and Dad. With Dad, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, with Dad.
Yeah, it was very nice. Yeah.
And it had, it had all the linens and,
It had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it was very nice. Yeah. You mostly just bring groceries. And, but yeah, it was good. We enjoyed it. It was fun.
I was gonna say, the other cabin we stayed at.
Like weird.
The cabin we stayed at is 2008.
Sedona?
Yeah. It came fully stocked with baby scorpions.
Oh, I know. No one can get over the fact that there were baby scorpions there. It was kind of bad, but it was a cool cabin.
Yeah.
You have to admit it was a really neat old cabin.
Yeah.
And it had like sections, like the really old section, and then like a middle section, a newer section.
Well, in the section, the room that Eve and I were staying in, the maid quarters room, had a beautiful, huge picture window, and that iconic, view from Sedona of that
Cathedral Rock.
Yeah. Was right there in the window. It was
gorgeous.
Beautiful.
So this, where we stayed that year, was a Forest Service cabin. We learned that year that you could rent those, and we didn't know that. So we tried that, and it was actually a historic building, and the older part would look like remind me of Grandma's house, made of stone,
But they wouldn't let you. You could bring your pet.
Dogs.
You could bring your dog, but you couldn't bring it inside. And I said, well, she'll be okay outside. Because that dog slept outside of my house, often. She didn't mind it. Except there were so many baby scorpions on the ground outside.
There was like a little nest or something
that I did not want to have her there. And so we put her in the van overnight. It was cold. It wasn't hard on her or anything like that, except she's
She
like,
was lonely.
I want to be with the family.
I know. That was the only bad part.
That was the only.
We should have found a dog-friendly place, but
Yeah.
but yeah.
But it was stocked. It had everything.
Yeah.
You know, the scorpions are. You know, you're in the mountains.
Yeah.
Well, in Sedona, it's very deserty.
Yeah. I didn't expect there to be so many of them.
No,
But-
yeah, it was bad because all the mothers had their babies on their back. It was so scary.
There was tons of little tiny scorpions, and they would. The door by where our room was had a. I mean, you could see daylight through it.
Yeah.
A crack in it.
Wasn't sealed up.
And you know, over there where Mom and Dad and you and Mark were, wasn't accessible. Wasn't as accessible to the bugs as where Beth and I were.
Yeah.
And that's why Beth and I go, yeah, but the scorpions.
I know.
But
But
it had a screened-in porch
Mhm.
where I painted while you
Yeah.
guys went and played in the
and
river.
sort of balcony areas like by
Yeah.
every door.
Yeah, it was
You
really
know.
nice.
Yeah,
'Cause it was
and we were
built
close
into
to the river,
Yeah.
and yeah.
It was
so we were
nice.
able to go down there and play, and
Yeah.
yeah.
It was interesting.
And the
we weren't that
dog
far from-
enjoyed her vacation.
Yeah.
She just didn't like sleeping.
It
And
was
we weren't that far from what, like, there was an area that was very, where people were camping, I guess, that.
Oak Creek Canyon. Yeah. We went there for
Yeah.
a day to
Yeah.
goof around. Yeah. But yeah, it was one of our least favorite adventures. But well, we've been talking for a while.
Yes.
And I have things to do today, and then tonight we'll circle up at Rachel's house. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
More birthday for me. And yeah, but thanks for joining us again. Sorry about last week. Thanks for sticking with us. And welcome to all our new subscribers. We are very close to 500.
Yes.
So we're going to plan a party. Like I said, was it last week we needed 20 people? So if you're not following us, please subscribe. And when we get to 500, we'll throw a party. Look back at our celebrations at 400 and 300. You'll see that we throw a good party. So thanks so much for sticking with us and for joining us again. And we hope that your crafting fun is fulfilling and enjoyable. And we will see you next week. Bye.